TV dogs. Rin Tin Tin, Lassie, Scooby-Doo, Astro, and who could forget Old Yeller? All right, put your hands down. Let's take one more vote. Who in the audience, raise your paws, has never owned a dog? Wow, just a very few. Today, I'm going to go over 3 areas for Paws for Peace. The first one, I'm going to share some stories regarding dogs that have been in my life as a child, as an adult. I'm also going to share, number 2, things you should consider in bringing a dog into your home and family. And the third, to be a conscientious pet parent for Paws for Peace. I grew up into my adulthood with 6 dogs. They all changed my life for the good. Our second dog, Maggie, not this Maggie, Maggie, she was a border collie. And Maggie went around the house and in the yard always with a smile. She taught us to laugh, to love, to care. We took care of her, we petted her, we fed her, we did all these great things, and she was a wonderful dog. And her memories last in our hearts today. We had 2 dogs of the 6 that we had to rehome. As a child, we had a black German Shepherd, Phantom, who scared the neighbors with young children that she thought the dog would eventually eat their children. So we ended up with that dog and a dog when we were adults, Guffman, a little white Bichon that had incessant barking, that our neighbor next door, who's an attorney, said, if you don't fix your dog, I'm going to fix you. So we had to rehome those dogs. And it was tough, and we were angry as a family both times, but we learned so much. We learned as a family to make a decision how to find a good home for these dogs. And we also had empathy for the 2 families that complained about our dogs. So there's great lessons learned. Moving forward, if you want a friend in Washington, the saying goes, get a dog. But that's not so appropriate here in the villages. Let me introduce Winston. He's a very unpopular dog in the villages. Winston is the dog from hell. Winston barks at people when they come in the front door. When the people come in, they jump on you, they jump on the people. They chew, Winston chews on shoes and furniture and even chases golf cars. Winston has never had any dog obedience at all in Winston's life. And Winston's owner is a petite person, and this Winston can pull and almost knock her down and make her fall. In the villages, one of the serious health risks are falls. And a lot of them are caused by animals and dogs. Dogs like Winston can get underfoot and trip an owner. As we mentioned, they could pull you, they could jump on you, and their food dishes, bowls, and toys, they can move them around the house and leave them somewhere where they can be very dangerous. So it's very important that we think about and consider what kind of dogs we're getting. So how do you pick a dog if you're an owner in the villages that would be good for you? You've got to think about breeds, size, temperament. That little cute puppy might grow into an unruly 70-pound dog. And you've got to be very careful, and a dog trainer and veterinarians and other people can help you figure out what would be a good dog for you. Now, how can we sway villagers to love or like your dog? I'm going to give you 3 ideas. 1, pick up your dog's poop. I was walking to the pool the other day and stepped in Winston's poop, and nobody likes a poopy flip-flop. The second thing, you want to be in control of your dog. Nobody wants Winston to be licking, lapping, jumping, snapping, biting in your space. It annoys me, and I'm sure it will annoy you as well. And some dogs they bark. And you can control that, because dogs that bark in the villages, that's noise pollution. So if your dog is barking, bring the dog inside. There's ways you can train the dog not to bark. And the third is, don't take your dog to all the places that dogs should not go, and it happens. Warning, not every dog is welcome everywhere. Don't bring your dog to a restaurant or to a store. Those are places that a service dog can come in with their owner and be able to thrive within those environments. And the dog park, if your dog cannot be good with other dogs, or you can't call the dog with your voice, they don't belong in a dog park. And don't be that person on one side of the dog park on the cell phone when your dog's on the other side misbehaving. That's important. So, dogs bring so much joy and love. They're things that dogs can do for us. From a mental standpoint, they give us day-to-day companionship. From a physical standpoint, they give us exercise, and themselves as well. And the third thing, they give us emotional health, unconditional love. So as I think about what I shared with you so far, if you can take these big 3 takeaways: 1, pick up your dog's poop. Don't take your dog to, or be in control of your dog, and don't take your dog to inconvenient places that dogs should not go. You're going to get villagers to really like your dog. So I'm calling on all of you to help us with our dogs be a better place, not only for ourselves and our families, but for our neighbors and our villages. Can I count on all of you to do that? There's a Russian author that once said, love the plants, love the animals, love everything. And if you love everything, you can perceive the great mystery of life. So we leave here with a little more knowledge about the 3 things I talked about, Paws for Peace, and I think it's up to us to do it. But I wanted to just test how well I did with this TOAST training with this group of 100+ people. So can I ask all of you, I'm going to give you 2 commands. The first one is stand up and give me a standing ovation. Who's going to start? The second command is please sit. Thank you.